Hello, beautiful ladies. Welcome back to The Elegant Life. Today I'm sharing a very personal story that happened to me about 2 weeks ago, where I literally had a challenge appear in my life that has been coming over and over and over again, that I finally needed to do what I taught, especially in last week's video, but in many other videos as well. How do you handle elegantly when a challenge appears in your life and repeatedly keeps happening? What did I do? What was the process? What questions did I ask myself? And what has the outcome been? You're going to be able to use this in your very own life when a challenge or something comes in your life that triggers you. It's going to be a real life example showing you how to go about doing it. So let's start. Now, the one caveat here is I did film a little bit after this challenge came and I processed it. And I shared it on Instagram because that's what I often do. I'm like live on Instagram when things happen because I like that real in the moment. But I thought it was so good of an example that I wanted to share it with you here. So the first part of this video is going to be in portrait mode, but I'm going to turn back to landscape mode after and kind of walk you through the process that I took myself through. Okay, so have a watch and then I'll see you back after. Hi everybody. Well, I have a real life example of a challenge that happened to me that seems to continuously happen to me, and I finally had to do the technique that I taught in today's YouTube video. Let me explain what has happened. So you know how I'm always talking about us having this next best version of ourselves and our life, right? We have this visualization, and the universe, as soon as we ask for that vision, it starts putting things in play to prepare us to receive that life. And oftentimes it's the challenges that help us become a match to whatever is in that dream life. Now, in my next version, there is a woman, me, that higher version of myself, who is living an internal slowness that really is a part of me, and yet really in the other half is such a struggle for me to be. So today I was living my life beautifully, doing all the things that I love doing and also finishing up some work. Yet I even said to my daughter, gosh, there's this internal sense of a bit of like, I guess you could call it a low-level anxiety it's kind of always there, because there's so many things that I want to do while I'm here in England, right? I want to do these nature walks every day, and I want to do my strength training, which you saw, and I want to read from my book, and I want to watch some of the videos that I've saved and I haven't been able to watch, and oh God, I got to cook my meals. Oh yeah, I've got some ripe bananas that I need to do, and like it's all these things, right? And it's always causing this little layer of anxiety. And so here's what has happened. For the past 4 months, I have been burning myself. Like, I think I've burnt myself 3 times. This is the worst one. I still have a scar. I have cut myself multiple times. And then today, I was wanting to come out for this nature walk, and all of a sudden, oh no, that thing that you have to do, that the deadline is today, oh gosh, just before you go, just sit down and get it done. So my computer, I was trying to turn it on, and then all of a sudden the Wi-Fi wasn't working. Oh man, what is this happening? Like, just let me get this thing done so I can get outside. And then my husband's around and he's not feeling well. So he's kind of walking around like a zombie. My daughter's saying, why is the Wi-Fi out? And he's like, I don't know. But he's not being concerned about it at all. And now I'm like kind of getting frustrated with him and the whole situation. And I went into the fuse box area. I lift it up and I'm looking and I'm like, no, it looks okay here. And bang, the lid slams down on my finger. I go into shock because I'm in so much pain. I felt like my finger had been cut off. Then my husband went into shock. I start crying and crying. My daughter's crying like it's just this huge catastrophe. Once I stopped crying, of course I did what I taught in today's YouTube video. I cannot keep having these things happen to me and not learn the lesson. It's trying to show me you've got to learn to take a deep breath and slow the hell down. This unfortunately needed to happen today. Isn't this the way it works with us? We let it go so much until something really difficult happens, and then we go, okay, I surrender and I commit. So I'm on my beautiful walk now, feeling the peace, living the slowness, having learned the freaking lesson finally. And I ask you, what has been a pattern that's been happening to you in your life over and over and over, and you haven't learned it yet? What has the universe been asking you to do that you haven't done? I tell you, it's not going to go away. So you might as well go watch my YouTube video, follow that procedure, or that practice, I should say, and get that next version of your life, because this is the only way it happens. I'm telling you, it's the secret to life. Let's dive though into the actual process I took myself through. So the first thing I noticed was this keeps happening. Actually, the first thing I said to myself, which we always say to ourselves, why does this keep happening, right? And then it's like, pause. What an opportunity. Now, this is an opportunity for me to connect with the light, to find the reason why it's in my story, why it's in my movie, why it's in my life. Because these things are not random. I am attracting them into my life so that I can correct whatever is out of balance. So that was my first step. I noticed it happened. I noticed it was a pattern. And then I asked myself this question, really with my eyes closed, and I went inside. Why is this in my movie? And then what happens sometimes is it guides you to ask other questions, or it shows you a piece of the information. It told me to ask myself, how did I feel right before this happened? What was my state? And when I checked into what my state was, it was very like this. And the thoughts going through my mind, it was, you have to get this done before you go enjoy. Like the time. Could I have gone for my walk and come back and finished that and still had enough time? Yes. But it was like, no. And then I went back to the other times when I burnt myself. What was the state? The state was one of, what were the thoughts going through your head? The thought that came through my head was actually from the divine saying, just put on 2 oven mitts. And my ego came and said, no, forget it. I can just use 1. So I wasn't listening, right? I was too much in that certain state. If I look back to some other examples, the state was the exact same. The mindset was the same thing. And so this is what I had to realize. When you notice you're in this certain state, you need to watch yourself. You need to question it. You need to calm yourself down and realize that you don't have to be in that state. That's a choice. And so that's what I've been practicing. When I notice that feeling in my state, I immediately take a few deep breaths, close my eyes, and say, there's another way. I can choose to be calm through this. I can choose to be peaceful through this. How would the light be in this situation? You see, It's always about saying, how would the light react? How would my highest self react? Whatever question you want to ask yourself. It's always bringing us back to, how am I being called to be more of the light in this situation? And it's peace. Funny enough, there was an incident where I was taking something out of the oven and I caught myself because I was starting to take it out of the oven in that rushed sense. But now, because I had been aware of it, I was going into the oven in that same state and something stopped me. And instead, I calmed myself. I said, oh, not again, not this time. That's how this process works. So, a very real life example, seeming silly, like, oh, she's burning herself. Oh, she got her finger caught. Oh, but this is huge for me because in my next best life, the one that I'm visualizing, the state that I'm being is the state that I'm training to be right now. And the universe is in full support of it. So all the burning, this last one was, talk about a doozy. It was all happening for me because we cannot have growth without challenge. Don't let these opportunities pass you by because when you correct something, you are literally, I like to say it like this, your whole being is like a bank. And instead of receiving money pouring into you, you open the bank and you allow light to just pour into you. And when you and your vessel are filled with light, that is when the miracles happen. That is when things just magically appear. That's when you're able to make all the positive choices. The people come into your life in wild ways. This is truly the only thing we need to focus on. Receiving, being, expanding the light. Next week's video, I'm really going to be talking about something that I think you'll find very interesting. Here at The Elegant Life, everything is always holistic. There's the 10-day Upgrade Your Life Challenge. And what I say in that is that we're not just going to upgrade your life in one way. We're going to upgrade it in every way because that is wholeness. That's when you really feel a difference in your life. You feel whole again. I'll just give you a little hint as to next week. When people are only focused on getting more money in their life or losing the weight, finding that soulmate, or improving your relationship, if you're only focused on that one thing, you are coming at that whole situation from an energy of lack. I don't have. What do we know as a spiritual law? Like attracts like. So what you're focusing on is you're saying, I don't have it. And what I want to teach you and remind you of is that there's a more elegant, more effective, more fulfilling way of getting all of those things with ease and elegance. So let me talk about that in the next video. It will probably only be in about 2 weeks because I am on holiday and I'm trying to give myself a break and not feel pressured or have shoulds or have tos. So if all of these topics resonates with you, please do make sure that you hit the subscribe button and you click the like button because this just tells the YouTube algorithm, but more importantly, the universe, that you want this in your life. Remember, like attracts like. So stay entangled with this channel and you will receive the blessings that you desire. Make it an elegant week and I will see you next time.